Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a spaceman. His name's Marian Hampton, and he just got introduced to Malibu Mike McDaniel, who's now the OC in LAC. And Hampton is now in the, well, we could say it's going to be a Devon Achane type of season. They're different running backs, but the Devon Achane treatment is certainly headed in the direction of Hampton. However you want to look at this is a huge boost to Hampton's value. Dynasty, he goes through the roof. If you've got Hampton, you're going to get 4, 5, 6 offers tonight, tomorrow, the next day. People are going to try and steal Hampton away from you. You just got to say no. Even if you were tempted to move because you got to rebuild or something, and you're like, damn, this could be a good opportunity for me to sell high on this situation, you can't sell on Hampton unless you is the volume not high on right now? Is the volume low? I gotta check that out. I don't know what in the hell is going on with the volume. The volume is absolutely, there we go. We back? I think that's better. I think the test 1 2, there we go. Hampton, I don't know what's going on with the volume. We were lower the volume now because you're probably gonna hear me a lot louder now. I think you're going to get massively bad offers for the next handful of days. People are going to try and grab Hampton at previous value, like the value he had just a little while ago. But what you're going to do is say no to those offers, pretend like you're relishing in the glory of Marian Hampton, like you should be and will be if you keep him. But for those of you in Dynasty that need to make a move, you need to milk this to its core. Otherwise, you hang on to him and build around him. There are no selling a little bit high on this and just, this is pretty good. You sell to the moon or you don't sell at all. And in most cases, you don't sell at all. Hampton is going to be fed. The Dynasty show, the Graveyard show begins right now. File on in.
You're watching a
Graveyard stream.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
Don't forget to check out thefantasyfootballshow.com. Link is in the description for where I rank Hampton because he's going to go up tonight in the rankings. I haven't had a chance to adjust it yet, but he will go up in the rankings, no doubt about it. Make no mistake about it. So get ready for that. Guys, I couldn't be more elated about this situation from a Dynasty perspective. I couldn't be more elated about this from many different perspectives. But we're talking about, and I don't know if this volume was down during the entire other show, if that just happened. I'm not sure. That really irks me that we had potentially a volume issue on the other show, and I didn't even know it. But let me know if that sounds too loud or if we're good. I mean, you might just have to turn me down, but once you turn me down, does it sound distorted or are we looking? I had to ramp it up, and I think we're back to a pretty good level. But Hampton is capable of 60, 70 receptions, you know, no matter what is going on. And with Malibu Mike McDaniel, you're now guaranteed, if Hampton's healthy, to get volume at that level or much higher. I don't think he's the same back as Achane as I just mentioned, and we might see Mike McDaniel disperse the football in wide back creative formation to Ladd McConkey, to Oronde Gadsden, to potentially whoever, if it's going to be Trey Harris or if it's QJ or if it's Lambert Smith. I don't think we're going to see a rinse and repeat. Take the blueprint from Miami, apply it to LAC because the weapons are different. Just like when Deebo Samuel, the wide back role, was architected by Miami Mike McDaniel, he comes over to Miami. The first thing everyone and their mother thought was that Tyreek Hill was going to benefit from that wide back role. It was the inverse. Mike McDaniel drafted Devon Achane and created a wide back inversely from the running back position. It was just flipped upside down, and we didn't know that that was necessarily coming to the degree that it was brought. And I think the same thing could happen here where we think we know what the blueprint's going to be. We think it's either going to be Deebo or it's either going to be Achane type of implementation, but it might be a morph where Ladd McConkey sees massive volume and lots of wide back work, and Hampton gets used, and he's rolling with multiple wide back type of concepts that make Gadsden, Hampton, and Ladd all go to the mother freaking moon. Values go up across the board. Herbert's value goes up across the board. In Dynasty, in Superflex, in Redraft, doesn't matter. All these guys go up in value. We talked about this on the main channel, so go over, as well as Bijan London and how Stefanski could negatively affect that Atlanta Falcons situation. So go check out that video on the main channel. Link in description for youtube.com/thefantasyfootballshow. You're watching the Dynasty channel. If you didn't know that, and this video has been suggested to you and you just think you're watching the main channel, subscribe to this Dynasty channel because it's all Dynasty all the time. Phone lines are going to be open right away. There's not much to discuss other than this is glorious. So we're going to type in Dynasty value. Let me put a headline up here, Dynasty value, and put that on screen here, and we'll discuss it. Dial into the show. The phone lines are open, and let me know what you feel this guy's Dynasty value is. Are you ranking him, let's call it Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Genty, Love, or are you taking Hampton over Love? I mean, really, we could start there. We could start there and say, and let's rank it on the board. And you tell me where you put Hampton in Dynasty. I don't know if we got to probably just pause and have a conversation. So Dynasty, before we start just ranking somebody next, Dynasty RBs. I think it, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Genty, and then, some of you might even say 4, but is he now in this conversation of number 5? Is this Hampton, Love, JT, Bucky, Hendy, Cook, Chase Brown? Who's running back 5? If you had to rank them right now, I'm curious to know. Drop your number 5 in the chat. If you assume that this is how it goes, you can have Genty or Hampton one above the other, but regardless, pretend these guys are off the board. Who's number 5? Drop it. I'll throw it on screen, and we'll discuss who your number 5 running back is. Or might he be your 6? Might he be your 7? You can tell me the next 3 guys if you want to count all the way down to Hampton. But if it's Hampton, I want to know. Let's see here. We got might be more catch plays for him. Certainly Vader. I mean, that's goes without saying. All right, drop your rank. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Going to be a wild ride as we walk into 2026 with the redraft rankings and the Dynasty rankings, and they're going to be slightly different. But I'm curious where you guys see him. So drop your rank in the live chat, please, and we'll place Hampton maybe next, or at least he's going 5 or 6 or 7, but he might be 5. I probably put Love here, but it's close. I mean, it really is. JT's older, so I'm not ranking him here. But if we put it like that, I mean, how is that crazy? It's not. I like Hendy and Hampton, kind of the same. I'd maybe say that. I'd maybe say, for me, this is just waiting for Vrabel. So I think you could put it like that. Hampton and Hendy, kind of a tie for 6. I wish I had the assurances that Hendy will be fully utilized the way we want him to from Jump Street in 2026. I think eventually we will, but you got to remember that some of you say Harvey, you got to remember that I'm always going to be ranking for 1 to 3 years. I'm not in Dynasty just saying, okay, in 3 years things will be great. I want to win now too. So some of the holding back of Hendy in a Dynasty rank will have very much to do with I'm trying to win 2026. And we don't know what that looks like. We got 2 more, as of the recording of this video, 2 more playoff games to go as we walk into the championship games right here. Denver, New England, Seattle, and the Rams. We don't have an outcome here. We have potentially, obviously, this game of Hendy to play and maybe another, and that could shed some light on the volume next year. So if anybody thinks that we're not, giving a fair shake to Hendy because you watched him and we watched him run for 150 yards and a touchdown in, let's say, the conference championship, we don't have that fuel yet. Right now he hasn't been used properly at all in the playoffs. So there is concern walking into 2026 that you're held back for another half a year, whatever. So you got to account for that when you're ranking Hendy. Hampton's certainly in a better spot in week 1 than Hendy as of this moment before the playoffs continue on. Love, I think, is going to be in a great spot no matter what. Hampton over Genty, better situation, says Derek. I can't blame you for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Cook is certainly, I'd say, in the conversation of the 7, 8, 9, but I don't think he's in my top 6. I can't draft Cook over Hampton, Hendy, or Love, or Genty. Not in Dynasty. Redraft, maybe. I could understand it, or I would do it in variation to make sure I'm diversified across the entire fantasy football landscape for 2026, which is going to be a big mantra on this channel. So I'm fine with that in redraft, but Cook not in Dynasty. 6 to 10 Scattaboo. I think Scat for me starts getting into the conversation around 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So we're overlapping there for sure. You're 6 to 10. I'm more like maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. So very close. Overlap's fine. We're meeting somewhere in the middle for sure. Breece Hall, definitely in this like 6 to 10 range. I mean, you can't put Hall at 5 over Love or 4 over Genty or over Achane, but you could certainly argue Hall is in this conversation. We're not trying to go, Vader. You keep talking about players that are not even relevant to this live stream. We're talking about Hampton. Okay, so Hampton is the conversation. We're not going to keep going down. Hall is certainly here. Everybody that we haven't named, Cook, everybody, they're here. They're close. But Hampton, to me, is what we want to focus on here. Now, if you're saying Hall over Hampton, I mean, in redraft, maybe, but I don't think you can say that in Dynasty, my boy. I don't think you can. I don't think you could put Breece Hall ahead of him. I love Breece Hall, but Breece Hall, that's a little early, my boy. A little bit early. JD, you're live.
Best show on the planet, Smitty. Hampton. I think with Malibu Mike and how he draws up plays, explosiveness, man. And good thing is Hampton is explosive. He can catch the ball. I'll be interested to see how he uses him, but we can be rest assured that the running game is with Malibu Mike being the chef that he is at the core, at most of all of his recipes. So he's going to put in work. So that 6, I think, for me, and particularly in Dynasty, absolutely works. Could be 5, 6, actually, or even 4 over Genty. Someone in the chat made a good point. Just circumstances, just better situation. But rest assured, they run the ball. It's the Shanahan tree. I keep going back to that, but it's a real thing. I mean, these guys are getting jobs all over the place, and they all run the ball. I'll hold on.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't argue Hampton anywhere that someone could have him. I mean, 4, I'm fine with that. Genty over Hampton, Hampton over Genty, Love over Hampton, Hampton over Love, Love 6. Hampton 4, Genty 5. All that's very arguable, very overlapping.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess what I look at, two things to think about with Dynasty that's a little bit different is that if Miami Mike is as good as we think he will be and is as good as that earns this ranking, he will be gone after 1 year. So from a redraft versus Dynasty perspective, there is that to keep in mind. Now, that might unlock Hampton and get this offense humming in a way that whatever they end up doing, replicating it, trying to replicate it as much as possible, they could continue on with the new OC in 2027.
Yeah, the blueprint, right? The blueprint.
Maybe, yeah. But we did see Ben Johnson step away from Detroit, and even though it was there, the blueprint was usable. It was not always implemented properly. So just something to keep in mind when you start saying, well, Hampton's better than Genty and Love because of the situation. In Dynasty, that situation will change in a heartbeat. That in 1 calendar year, your situation's going to change. So as much as I love as much as I love Hampton, he does come with a little injury risk that he's got to shake free, as does Bucky. You know, and Hall's got to find his new situation before we can even really rank him yet. Hendy's situation has to change. That's why I can't put Hendy above Love, Genty, HN right now. Now, if, let's say, not saying I want wishing injury upon Ramondre or anything, but let's say Ramondre goes out in the first quarter of the championship game, because again, anybody watching, we have not witnessed the NFC or AFC championship games, and obviously haven't witnessed the Super Bowl yet. If, let's say, Ramondre went out and, I don't know, just got abducted by aliens and never returned, but he's safe, he's happy, we got a note, a postcard, he's good to go, not wishing injury upon anybody. Then Hendy goes out, has 150 and a touch. We know for a fact, walking out of the Super Bowl or championship game, should the Patriots lose to a Stidham quarterback situation, I highly doubt it. Good thing this will be here for us to make fun of it in the comments if I'm wrong. If in fact, even if, let's say, New England wins the Denver game, underutilizes Hendy, goes to the Super Bowl, Ramondre gets abducted by aliens before that game, and Hendy finishes at least one of the games with 150 and a touch, we walk in with certainty that we're getting volume that, for me, puts Hendy at 3 or 4. That's eventually where Hendy could be for me. But right now, we don't have any of those indications that he's guaranteed. Not that it can't happen, but he's guaranteed. So that puts him below Hampton for now. Below Love, below Genty. But, man, this is volatile. But again, situation could very much change for Hampton after one amazing Malibu, Miami Mike McDaniel season. Because if he brings us what we think he can, he's gone. He's doing this. This is a stepping stone move for Malibu Mike. He's not taking this job for the long term. He turned down the Cleveland Browns head coaching job in a sense, even though it might not have been fully offered to him yet. He withdrew from it because he'd rather be an OC in the right spot for fit, prove himself, and then have total autonomy over the situation in 2027 and get his first choice, not his scraps. Like he doesn't want to, maybe he wasn't getting offered the Ravens head coaching job. He wasn't getting offered the head coaching job in Pittsburgh. So he had Cleveland. He had maybe Tennessee was in play at one point or something. He doesn't want those jobs. Those are one and done, and he's fired and he never gets a chance again because he screwed up twice in a row. He doesn't want to do that. He wants placement. He goes, he does this well, he does his job well, he's out of there, and he's a head coach in 2027. That's the unfortunate game that gets played in the NFL that I think they should do something about. If players can't leave after 1 year, why do coaches leave? So it's unfortunate. It creates turnover. It also creates injuries, and it creates busting. It creates a player to be great 1 year and bust another year. It creates consistent Gibbs production 1 year and then inconsistent production the next year. It could potentially, hurt a lot of players and help other players that are in bad spots that we think, thank God they aren't stuck in this for 4 years. But there's pros and cons. All right, Travis, you're live, then back to DJ.
So I didn't hear if you said at the beginning of the show, where did you have Hampton before Mike McDaniel got brought in? Did you have him outside the top 12? Or
No. But in Dynasty, he was not 6, tied with Hendy right now. This is spitballing it too. Okay. Tomorrow morning could be different.
Yeah.
But walking out of let's say the season for him and not knowing who his OC was, kind of just posting as we awaited the OC announcement, I probably had him, if I had to guess, this would have been Love, Hendy, and for me, I like Cook. I'm not suggesting anything negative. It probably would have been Chase Brown, Bucky, and Hall conversation of that. And with Hampton inside it, but maybe trailing a little bit. Maybe above one of those guys, maybe not. But he certainly would have been below 1 or 2 of those guys after Hendy. So Hendy 6, and then 1 or 2 of Brown, Bucky, Hall, Cook, I imagine 7 or 8. I think I would have felt really uncomfortable even seeing him at 8, but it would have been with a caveat similar to my Hendy. I feel really uncomfortable ranking Hendy at 6, but I'm irresponsible if I just tell people in 2026 startup dynasty to assume anything yet. Like, there's still a high ranking, but if I'm putting him at 3 and he goes out and doesn't get starter volume in week 1, like, I look like an a-hole and I didn't help anybody. So I got to be careful. But yeah, this announcement certainly moves Hampton up. But like I said, this is dynasty, so we got to also be careful not to act like this is a forever, offense right here. It could change from 1 year to the next.
Right. Yeah. And
great point. Great point.
I think I had him 9 before this, and I think probably as I think about it, I might move him up a little, but it's hard for me to put anyone I had in front of him. It's hard for me to move him up past that. Granted, I think they're all very close. Like, I still have Chase Brown, Love, and I have Harvey slightly ahead of him still.
Yeah, I have that.
Maybe I'll be off on that.
You have Harvey slightly ahead of who?
Hampton.
Really?
Wow. I'm pretty big on Harvey next year.
I can't say that you're crazy for it, but I'd say it definitely feels outside the norm for sure. But that's all right. That's fantasy.
Like I said, I think the more I think about it, maybe I'll end up bumping Hampton up more. But like Chase Brown and Harvey, I still have above him, just because I'm still not convinced he's going to be a huge PPR guy. I think he'll have a solid amount, but I don't foresee him having like 60 receptions. Not sure.
You don't think Hampton will have 60 receptions?
I don't know. You think he's capable of it?
Yeah, I do. I think 60 is easy. I mean, he had 35 last year on how many games? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on 9 games. Is that right? 35 receptions on 9 games.
Yeah.
30. So that's
32.
So
maybe.
Extrapolate.
Like I said, the more I think about it, I may end up moving him up. This is just
that's about.
Reaction.
Last year he extrapolated. Last year he would have caught 60 to 66 balls. So that's right, pretty good already.
I gotta think about it more than.
Yeah, Mike will probably give him, I would say, like 80 footballs. I mean, Achane last year, Achane grabbed, and I know they're not the same back, but you got to, if you look at it and say, well, if Achane pulled in, what was it, 760? Wow, he only had 67 receptions last year. But he does so well. But sometimes it's like Achane is, he has 4 touchdowns. He's in the end zone. And he doesn't need to catch anymore.
Yeah,
he's already. But I mean that.
And I will say,
kind of shocking. 67.
I can see myself moving him up ahead of Harvey, ahead of Chase Brown. So that would put him at 7 if I did that.
Yeah, I would say he's going to get at least. I mean, bare minimum what Achane got last year, because Achane was underutilized. 85 targets, 67 receptions. So I'd say let's give him exactly what Achane had last year. That would be, let me write his stats. This is what I project for Hampton in 2020. So I'll go 2026 projections for Hampton. I would say we'll call it 65 receptions for 400 yards even. Or let's say he's a lot less efficient than Achane. Let's say I'll just say 395 on 61 receptions.
Oh, so, yeah, I can buy 395.
Okay, so let's go with that. Let's go with 3 touchdowns, and then let's give him. Now Achane was running a lot more last year, which is accounting for why he maybe had less. He had 13.
And to the point of that too, Ewers played the last 4 games, and he didn't throw to the back as much. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that also knocks off some receptions.
I'm going to say this is his line: 1295, 395. I know it's like I'm running an ad here. 95, 395, 1295. 6 to 7 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving. I feel like this is the bottom of the barrel for him. I don't think even if you offset it differently, like give him 450 and 65 and give him 1150, whatever the case may be, we're talking about a total yard guy that gets you 395 plus 1295, which is 1690. So 1600 to 1700 total yards. I'm going to give him the 7 receptions rushing plus 3. That's 10 total touchdowns, 61 receptions, and 1690 total yards. Probably running back 3, 4, 5, or 6, I guess.
That would put him, I think it'd be about
4.
Would that be 290 points? Let's see. So 61 if it's full PPR, plus 129.5, plus 39.5, plus 10 total touchdowns. You said?
Yeah.
So that's 60. So that's 290 points.
329.
Yep.
Did I have
it wrong?
Let's see here. So oh no, I'm sorry. You're right.
290 puts him at RB7.
RB7.
Yep.
So, you know what? And I'm not trying to fudge this to make it fit, but obviously,
puts him at RB6 the year before. So
yeah, I'm going to say the part that I'm probably wrong on is the touchdowns. 10 touchdowns is not a lot. So let's call this. We'll keep this 3. We'll call this, I don't know, like 8 touchdowns and 4 maybe. So 12. I think 12. What would adding 12 more points be? Because
that would be 310. That would put him at RB6. It would move him up 1.
Because I feel like
you'd have to get to 3. HN was RB5 with 321.8.
Yeah. Not trying to fudge the projections to meet the.
No.
Yeah, but I do believe the projections were off, so I wanted to like fix it. I think 12 touchdowns for him is not crazy. He's especially more of a rushing touchdown running back than HN would be. So HN,
he could have 12 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, easily could have 11. You know.
Yeah.
So I would say running back 5, 6, or 7 is where he'll be, and to me that makes sense because I'm ranking him at 6. So I feel like that's a good place, and there's a likelihood he still plays great even if McDaniel leaves after 1 year. But
doing that, then I think doing the exercise out, I think I have to probably move him ahead of Harvey, and I got to think about Chase Brown too, I guess. Because I don't know if I'd quite put him ahead of Love yet in Dynasty, but
you know what Hampton is? Hampton's that smart draft selection that you should be drafting as it's one of those ones where you're drafting Chase Brown with the hope of the ceiling. You're drafting Hendy with the hope of the ceiling. The logical move is until those ceilings are, and I'm not saying Chase Brown doesn't have too much that needs to happen for you to feel more comfortable with the situation, but just like the flux of the Bengals right now, I think Chase Brown's fine. If you had Chase Brown ranked ahead, I think in 2026 you definitely could have him. And if this is redraft rankings, you could easily have Chase Brown ahead of Hampton without a hesitation in my mind. But this is Dynasty, and I think that when you look at it like a player that hasn't proven it yet, or older player like Hall, or a player like Cook that, we could love him 1 minute like Jacobs and then not the next minute. There's that risk with him. Bucky, there's that risk with him. Harvey, there's a potential of them drafting yet another rookie running back and the unutilized talent, the unseen talent. Hampton is just safe. He's a smart play that a lot of people would just pull the trigger on without even giving a second thought, whereas somebody that's trying to a little bit bigger, like on Harvey, might be like, oh, but I think, but it's just not a smart play, I think, to go Harvey, to go, Cook or Hall or any of these other questionable plays when you're literally being given maybe the safest amount of volume. And it really comes down to injury, but you're getting the safest amount of volume you could hand a running back that has already upside to be top 5. Like, this is going to be massive volume.
Not to take up too much of your time and to go too far off topic, but just out of curiosity, and I get this can change wildly with the draft and everything else, just like 10 seconds off the top of your head, what would your projection be for Harvey next year? I know it's a lot harder to do, but if you had to take a guess.
So
I'm
this
just
is
curious on where you stand on Harvey right now.
Yeah, obviously gonna depend on what they do with their backup situation. But the one thing about Sean Payton is
what if Dobbins is back?
Yeah, the thing about Sean Payton is like he's gonna have, if they were to draft a rookie, he's gonna have some of the same concerns about that rookie as he did Harvey, and you're gonna see Harvey be the veteran in this situation. But he had 540 yards rushing, which is not great. He had 7 touchdowns though. That's crazy. He had 47 receptions, which was awesome considering, and 356. So what we're giving Hampton, he essentially had, and 5 touchdowns. This man had 12 touchdowns. Harvey had 12 touchdowns and it only ran for 540 yards. That's wild. Just shows how good he is. I would probably
got 146 carries.
Yeah, I'd probably say we're looking at an Alvin Kamara type player because that's what he was drafted for. So I would say like 900 even would be a pretty big rushing year. Let's give him 6 rushing touchdowns. Let's give him 61 receptions for 410. So we're similar stats that Hampton got, and let's give him another. Let's give him 5 and 7. Let's say let's get 7 rushing touchdowns and 5 receiving, which is the exact same touchdown total he had last year, which I think is pretty conservative, to be honest. So we're talking about, what's that point total then? 900. So that's 90 plus 41 for yardage. So his yardage would be, damn it, I screwed up. 90 plus.
How many catches?
41. 61.
Okay.
Plus.
And then 12, so 72. 264.
Yeah, where's that rank? Maybe I'm too low on this number.
That puts him
RB. Fine. I think so.
RB 9.
Well, I mean, this is a safe projection for Harvey.
About right.
Right.
It's a safe projection for Harvey.
Sounds about right.
I'm not putting ceiling value.
Safe conservative. You could say maybe he'll get some more receptions, maybe get a couple more touchdowns, but I think that's a safe projection. Yeah. No, I was just curious how it compared. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know. Barring injury, with what Scatterbull was doing, and did in his 8 games, and what his projection was going to be, I would have him behind. I would have Hampton, Harvey, and Scat, just on what he was doing, but barring injury, even from a dynasty perspective, over the next 3 years. I mean, if you look at his numbers, even look at his targets, through 8 games, it was like, I don't know, you might see the numbers, Travis, and what have you. By the way, excellent exercise from a dynasty standpoint, man. I'm learning so much good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks.
If we take away now,
let's multiply his stats by 6 games, because the week 1 he didn't really play. The last game he got hurt. So if we look at his 126 fantasy points, I think, divided by 6 is 21. Is that right? Multiply that by.
I can tell you the exact projection.
350. Well, it's kind of hard to do because I'm taking 8 games and dividing by 6. But he didn't really do anything in the first game. He actually had, Well,
taking out those 2 games, in the 6 games he played healthy.
Oh,
he was. Do you want the 17 game pace?
Actually, yeah. Hold on one second. Let me just. Yeah. So if I do 129 minus the 10 points for the game week 8 that we're taking out, and minus the 2.9 from week 1 is 121. Is that right? Divided by 6 is 20.3. Is that about what you got? 20.3 roughly? That'd be 345.
I haven't done the points. I just have the numbers.
345. 345. That's what I got. 345 points, which would put him,
it's probably close.
4. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong to love him. That's for sure. The injury concerns me. His style of play concerns me. Is that right? 345? Is that what you have, Travis?
I'm checking it now.
I think I have 345. But yeah, I mean, look, I love Scat. And when he injured himself, we said his career is either over or it's not. It depends on the damage to the ligaments. And he got the best case scenario reported back that, essentially just dislocated his ankle. Everything else was, I'm sure there was some strain and stretching of some of the ligaments, but nothing that wouldn't heal to perfection probably. So it sounds like he'll be good.
I got 325, but that was going off different numbers than you had, so
okay,
slightly different. But either way, that's RB5 actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I had full PPR. I was doing it, but
yeah. So with the bullet, because to your point, I mean, he's a madman, but he catches the ball, and he also has a pretty good juke, move. Why he chooses to put his head down a lot of the time, I have no idea.
He likes it. Hold on. I think
but he can run in between the tackles, and he's elusive in between tackles. It's just when he gets in the open field, he's yeah.
Well, I have some data here that either confirms or denies what Travis is saying. Or I'm sorry, what DJ is saying. So let me hit the data button. Hold on. This will tell us whether what DJ is saying is correct about Scatterboo. This should do it.
What is that smell? Someone needs me. Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week! Somebody help! Call the Scat Man! I am Scat Man. Who needs my help? Wow. Bang, bang, boom. To the moon. Now it's time to go pick up your mother.
Bing, bang, boom. Sounds correct to me. It all adds up. Pencils out just fine. Yeah, we love Scat, man. We love Scatterboo.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So yeah, so that's what I'm just thinking in terms of having them in between 6 and 10, barring injury. And I think you're right. He's bringing over the OC that he had in Baltimore. Remains to be seen, but I think he's coming with them. And
hold on. Derek says, I'll roll the dice at Hampton at 4 and Scat later, rolling the dice. No one's suggesting you draft Scatterboo at 4, bro. But if that's what you're trying to imply, or just because we're like Scatterboo, we're having a Scatterboo conversation. We're not ranking him 4. He would be somebody you're like 7, 8, 9. What?
Am I too low to have Scat closer to 15 in Dynasty?
Not necessarily because of the injury risk.
I don't think so.
But I think having him 8 is also not wrong. I mean, we're talking about Book, we're talking about ETN and Hall, and there's so many players. That
probably bakes in
Walker,
the way I avoid injury. Then that's probably my bias on that.
Bucky. I mean, there's so much. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you could easily push him to 15, but I think the later you get him, clearly, the more risk you're baking in, and you're lacking a lot of destruction. I mean, Scatterboo is a destructive person. It would not surprise me if he destroyed your team as well. If you're taking him too high, got to get him in a safe territory. That's why I was kind of reacting to that guy Roberts' comment or whatever. It's like, no one's telling you to draft Scatterboo in the top 5, bro. You don't have to. We're just talking about what his ceiling is. Like Travis cranked out that he would have been roughly running back 5 or 6. You're not drafting him there. If you expect him to be there, that's still not where you're drafting him. If I rank Scatterboo as the 2nd overall running back, which I don't, by the way, then I would never, ever tell you to draft him anywhere but where you can get away with it. So Scatterboo shouldn't even be in the conversation of what you said here. Where like I'll roll the dice with Hampton and Scat later. Like if that's what you're suggesting, no one's saying you should be drafting Scat as your running back 1. You don't need to.
Do you think? What would you do? Getting Hampton. Getting back to the topic of Hampton in terms of trading. Would you trade Scatterboo and maybe something else, or get something else on top of with Hampton?
I mean, of course, I would rather have Hampton than Scatterboo.
Right, but in terms of, you got to get something plus.
Well, it depends on. Give me the example so that I can.
Okay, so if you're getting a Scat, if you're getting a Hampton plus maybe a late 12 or second, because Hampton's a 1, right? So maybe you're going to get Hampton and a 2, and you trade a Hampton, or you're giving up.
Didn't you mean
Scatterboo
plus
for
something?
Hampton? Scat, right? Scat and 2 for Hampton. Or
A
Scat
second-
and a late
a
1
second-
for Hampton.
A second round rookie pick doesn't move a needle.
Well, a late 1. A late 1.
I'd give up a late 1 and Scat for Hampton, absolutely. Because to
Okay.
me,
I'd rather have Hampton.
a late 1 is
Yeah,
2.1. That doesn't move the needle for me. Someone tried to trade me in a Dynasty league the 1.9 or 1.10 or whatever. I don't care about that pick. I'll take it, and
What about
obviously if it's sitting there on the ground and I can pick it up. But I know giving me the 1.10 to make some big move, it doesn't. I don't even look at it. I don't even consider it. That doesn't move the needle at all for me. A 1.11 or a 1.10 even. Not talking about 1.12 or 1.11. Even a 1.10 doesn't make me do anything.
Scat and the 1.03? So
Yeah, give me a higher one for Hampton.
I'm still keeping Hampton, but I think it depends on your roster, maybe. I don't know.
2026, you're talking either Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate. The fact that Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, one of them could get screwed in a landing spot, I think I'd still take Hampton. If you give me the 1.2 in Scatterboo, I think it's even at that point. And honestly, it's one of those trades that, like, once the landing spots are divvied out, I think I'd regret not taking it, but I think I'd say no now. I just couldn't justify it.
Yeah.
Hampton, to me, has just got too much value. And Scat deserves to be... At that point, you're trading for Scatterboo to be your running back 1, and then you're trying to land the rookie pick, which won't be a running back. It'll be a wide receiver. And how's your team going to look? That is building on high expectation and not taking advantage of situations, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. I was just curious in terms of that, in terms of just trade value, because some people may not have, running back depth and coming into a rookie draft or even existing players, because Hampton could be a trade piece, or you should be maybe obviously trading for him, And even in fact, with that, between the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players, those are all trade pieces maybe for Hampton if we have a cutoff of what our top 5 or 6 look like. You know what I mean?
Julian says, I know this is probably a dumb question, but does Harris have an effect on Hampton? I have no idea how long they have him for. Yeah, it is a dumb question, but that's okay. I would say there's no dumb question, but it doesn't mean that you should have known the answer if you're not looking into it. But yes, he's a free agent, so he is no relation to the situation. And unless they bring him back,
even if he was there,
highly, but he's not on the team. So, but it's okay to have a dumb question. I have dumb questions every day. Ask Miss Smitty.
Yeah, always ask.
Your dumb question helped a lot of other people that might not have known that, maybe. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. So, DJ, final thoughts.
I'm done, man. I love the exercise and breaking it down, in particular from a dynasty, standpoint at this point, to kind of give us an idea. And, Malibu Mike, and company, I'm excited about that, both from a fantasy perspective and also as a Bolts fan, to the best show on the planet, man. Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, DJ.
Thanks.
All right, Travis, final thoughts. Malibu Mike, let's take Scatterboo off the screen. He's had enough spotlight on
I was just going to ask you, with this move, what does it do for Gadsden and Dynasty for you? And I know you already liked him, but does it solidify it a little bit more? Does he, like, was he already in your top 7 or 8 Dynasty guys, or had he fallen out of it? Because earlier in the year, we talked about him as a top 5 Dynasty tight end.
So Bowers and McBride, tier break. Loveland, Warren.
Fannin.
Yeah, Fannon's in there. He's at the bottom of those guys, but in the same tier.
Right.
He has the upside. So it'd be Loveland 3 probably for everybody right now. But Warren shouldn't be discounted, like, and capable. He's capable of being 3 still. So Loveland, Warren, Fannin. And then because Pitts and Laporta have proven to be unreliable, I don't know that they're the tier break before those guys. And then when we get to Pitts and Laporta, Gadsden's
Kraft is a good one.
Yeah,
too.
Kraft, good one. Kraft, where do I have Kraft? I probably have Kraft in the Loveland Fannin tier as well.
Yeah,
underneath Fannin.
I think so.
So let me review: Bowers, McBride, no particular order, tier break. Loveland, Warren, Fannin, Kraft, kind of in an order, I would say. And then we have tier break, not even soft tier break, just tier break. And then that's where we're throwing Pitts and Laporta, whose injury, got a good situation, maybe not, but he's injury prone. Petsing, the new OC in Detroit, loved throwing to McBride, but he's been injured. Ferguson, Gadsden, Pitts, Kincaid, Goddard, Sadiq, the rookie. Those are kind of Parkinson. They're all in the same tier, and it's just going to come down to how the situation start ironing out.
Okay, so Gadsden's in that range right now for you then, like the, I don't know, 7 to 12 type range.
Yeah,
probably.
For sure. Like we were talking about in the last show, I mean, I'm getting like second rounder offers for him, and that's not going to do a single thing for me. I have no interest in giving up a second rounder for Gadsden when I have no interest in that.
I could see him with Malibu, like jumping up a tier anyways, if he uses them like he's used his tight ends in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Thanks,
Gadsden has the capability, I would say, of the third tier. So the tier that's below, kind of in order: Loveland, Warren, Fannin, Kraft, in tier 2. And you want to throw Kittle in there, fine, but Dynasty, I don't know if he'll ever be the same.
Right.
In that third tier, the one tight end that I think could climb, I guess the couple tight ends that could climb into the bottom of tier 2 would be Sadiq if he ends up, but it's hard to know. Goddard's kind of, I mean, he's playing great.
It'd be interesting to see where he goes, if he stays in Philly or if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah. Kincaid, I mean, he's starting to shine again, but Gadsden feels like the most capable. Like Pitts might climb to the top of the third tier, but I don't think I'm throwing in tier 2. Gadsden's the most capable. I mean, there was a point where during the season we thought Gadsden was like the third or fourth. We thought what we think of Loveland now from a fantasy football blanket community.
Well, that's what he looked like for those 4
Gadsden,
games.
Gadsden was ranked as high as we now have London for like 2 weeks inside the season. And if you don't think that's true, you weren't paying attention.
Week 7, he had 7 for 164.
Yeah,
not many tight ends can do that.
No, he had 2 games in a row where it was like the whole world was like, this is tight end 3 in fantasy in Dynasty, and then it just kind of, it wasn't his fault, but they didn't use him. They just didn't use him. They didn't use the lad. They didn't use anybody, which is why they have a new OC. And so, if anybody thinks Loveland was better than Gadsden was on the year in their 2 moments of shining, they're dead even. You just don't, your memories, something's wrong with your memory. But I'm not saying I rank Gadsden ahead of Loveland now. I'm not saying that at all either. I'm just saying that there was a shot, a small stint where we said, holy shit, this is tight end number 3. And then it's like,
yeah, they ended up. They
Nelson.
actually played the same percentage of snaps on the season. Gadsden ended up topping him in the numbers in the end, but he ended up getting
yeah,
like 15 more targets than him too. So.
And before you say, well, doesn't that say a lot about how much we can trust Gadsden? No, because who else did exactly what Gadsden did in terms of 2024, how good he looked, and in 2025 he crapped the bed royally, his counterpart, Ladd McConkey. So if Ladd McConkey can do absolutely nothing and you're scratching your head about it, like, what in the hell? He's not doing anything. And Gadsden goes from hero to zero, and he's not doing anything, and they're not doing anything at the same time, pretty easily to correlate what in the hell is going on here.
No O-line and Greg Roman.
Yeah, there's
really
like DJ said in here, yeah, Gadsden, but a minute, tight end one. Yeah, like there was a moment where it was like, is Gadsden in the McBride and Bowers tier? There was a flash in the pan for a minute, and it doesn't mean it was wrong. It's just when you don't see it happen again, and it goes an entire season without it after that point. For what week was it, Travis? You said?
So it was 4 weeks. Week 6 to 10, he was tight end 12, tight end 2, tight end 3, tight end 10.
Week what? What was it? 6?
Week 6 to 10.
6 to 10. Okay.
Or 6 to 9. Sorry, those 4 games.
So
6, 7, 8, 9.
Gadsden goes from looking like amazing top 3-4 material from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then playoffs. Like that is enough weeks to soil the whole concept, and you give up, and that's the natural instinct for a fantasy football populace, is to be like, nope, he's done. But there's explanation here, because we saw it happen to everyone in the same situation. They all got it's like the power went out, and you're judging this man on how he is on a computer. It's like the power's been out for 3 weeks, but you just don't know how to type. You're just not a very good typist.
Yeah, everything. His targets, his snap percentage, everything just plummeted.
I haven't seen him type in weeks. Well, there's been no power, Steve. Well, it doesn't matter. He's done. He's done.
There's no record of it.
I haven't seen him do it. It didn't happen. I didn't see it fall. It didn't fall at all. Loveland cuts down trees with his bare hands. Like, everyone's in love with Loveland, and we all are too. We like Loveland, but I'm just saying, Gadsden might have something to say about this conversation. You know, Laporta looked like he was going to be tight end 2 or 1. Yeah, Laporta was Dynasty tight end 1 for a minute, and now it's like we don't even know what tier he's in. 3. Like, it's crazy. All right, Travis, got to go. See you tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Smitty. Later.
Guys, check out thefantasyfootballshow.com year-round fantasy football rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators. 5 bold predictions are up. The trade calculator has all the rookies included. All the rankings have all the rookies included. Of course, I'll adjust them as the landing spots get handed out, but that shouldn't be on you. You shouldn't suffer because I don't know how to figure out how to put a rookie without a landing spot in the right place, and I can't calculate it. I don't play that game. The rookies are all in right now. I'll adjust and adapt when the time comes. Okay? You leave that to me. That's my job. Your job is to enjoy and consume. And the trade calculator is year-round. The rankings are year-round. The content's year-round. The bold predictions are up. 5 of them already. And don't forget to get on over to the live chat Patreon, 24/7 live chatting, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Both those links, as all my links, including the Underdog link, everything is in the description of the video. See you on the main channel, where I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks. In addition to that, and in addition to both of those, I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. And that main channel link is not what you're watching right now. That link is in the description. So subscribe to that channel, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you.